March 1st, 2019, Friday, 2:58 a.m. It's around 3 a.m. and I'm getting hot feet. My feet are being heated up, and my body is being spirit heated. I'm getting a lot of muscular aches and a lot of bone aches from my legs and my hips and my lower back. And I'm getting some kind of spray or something to my hair my hair seems like it's getting some kind of spray. It's getting sprayed with something. Anyways, I was getting attacked with voodoo imageries. The voodoo imageries at the R&M are pretty much their dark agenda against the family members of the target. So what they have is they constantly want to tell me that I as a target and my family members are on their dark agenda. The dark agenda, well, I'm not going to explain the dark agenda. It's accompanied by a lot of the songs. If I listen to music, they will play the music. They will play the music with voodoo at my R&M. Like, say I watch music on TV, and I watch a lot of music from my from Afghanistan and from Pakistan and from Iran, and some of the music I watch is from the US. Anyways, any type of music I watch is voodooed. It's voodooed into the dark agenda into my mind. Usually, it when they play the music in a voodoo form, they are either spirit cooking the targets, traumatizing the targets, mind controlling the targets, just like the main target, which is myself. And the targets are as young as 2 years of age, 4 years of age, 6 years of age, 50 years of age, 40 years of age, 30 years of age, and in their 20s and in their teens, and the elderly in their 60s. So there's no limit to the age of the targets, and the gang stalkers are the spook tower. The spook tower has the demeanors. The spook tower is also the smoke tower, the voodoo tower, the demeanor tower. Has a lot of the black gangsters that are the male one is named Randy type. He's been voodoo attacking me tonight, which is, and next to the blonde Jill. The blonde Jill is constantly is always about. She has a very she changes her voice to a spirit cooking voice. When the voice of a handler turns into a spirit cooking voice, even if it's a female, the voice will become warlock. The voice will become a male voice. It will become very hoarse. It's a spirit cooking voice. It's very distinct. A vampire voice is also very distinct. It's like a warlock voice. It's hoarse. It's masculine. It's very masculine. And like, for instance, what they did to my vocals and my cardiac system is they had to suppress my cardiac energy such that I have two terrestrial voice radiation tubes next to my own vocal. And they use their radiation tubes to suppress my vocals so that their hoarse voices, their HOARSE voices, their masculine warlock type of voices are talking through my voice. Like if the blonde witches are talking through my voice, through the radiation tube in my vocals, They will have exclusive blonde voices in my vocals, and then the spook tower are either the blacks, the blacks or the South Americans. Um, they will use their voices are voodoo based, voodoo type and vampire type. It is the same for the blonde, which is they will get around 3 a.m. Their voices will be that of a vampire, HOARSE voice, warlock voice, and masculine voice. And if they've really downtrodden or destituted the target's voice will also become masculine. When a target is a female and their voice becomes masculine, it means that's how much the target has been deprived of their energy, and that's how much the handlers are on the target. The target is being possessed from its energy. Like for instance, my mother, when my mother has a lot of, there's so much on my mother that they will, I don't know if they're talking through my mother or my mother herself, but my mother is like so exhausted, like her memory and everything is controlled so that their witches can talk through her. And my mother the other day said, well, it's because I feel like a stranger from my body. I feel like a stranger in myself, do you know? And that's how they, when a target is spirit cooked, a target becomes a stranger in self. Dementia, memories are controlled, and dementia and memory locks and script locks. Let's see, what else can I say? I really needed to emphasize the spook tower, the smoke tower, the voodoo tower, so that people can get a sense for the smoke tower, the spook tower, the voodoo tower. Another thing is a lot of the blacks from spook tower, smoke tower, voodoo tower, if they appear on Earth Theater, for me, the way it is in my RNM is that they give me a terrestrial, from South Americans, the South Americans have snakes. They have like malignant snakes. A lot of the South Americans do the dark agenda stuff, and they are the South American gang stalkers and spook stalkers or the dark agenda stalkers are snake-like. Snakes and cobras are in their frequency symbolism. And for instance, I have come across a South American gang stalker on Earth Theater and at the RNM, that when the South American is either in my presence or in my RNM, there is a poisonous snake frequency, a poisonous snake frequency, a poisonous Catholic frequency, and a poisonous South American frequency is RNM'd to my mind, is frequencied to my mind. And I haven't found anyone else who has this kind of experience. It's extremely spooky, extremely terrorizing, extremely dark agenda'd. I use the word dark agenda. Is a criminal agenda, it's a cannibal agenda, it's a trauma agenda, it's a narcissist agenda, it's abuse agenda. And the abuse agenda, and the cannibalism agenda, and the slaughter agenda, and in the narcissist behavior agenda, in the alter behavior agenda. These the South Americans, the brown-skinned South Americans, the black-skinned South Americans, and the black-skinned American Bermuda. And the Philippine, there's a lot of women from Philippine, a lot of female Philippines to whom I refer to as the agamis. These are very These beings are Catholic. These are from the demonic Catholic, from the beast Catholic, from the Catholic beast. And they are malignant. Malignancy is what makes these beings. These beings have a diseased heart in them. These beings have a malignancy in their hearts and in their privates, and in their eyes and in their mouths. And these beings are about the traumas, the spirit cooking, the alter personality, the narcissist behavior, the abuse behavior, the slaughter behavior. I know I have forgotten so many others. The cannibalism behavior. Let's see. These beings will appear on Earth Theater, and they are very much what makes the RNM, the remote neural monitor. And these beings have their satanic whites from Lucifer, and the satanic whites from their Catholic beast, from their LORD. The LORD is a separate entity next to the Lucifer. You see, the Lucifer is very exposed to the American continent. What isn't exposed to the American continent and to the Christian people is the beast realm. The Catholic beast realm is a very hidden realm, from South Americas to the North Americas and South Asia. And I guess yeah, I'm just gonna say South Asia. And South Asia, the Philippines is a very malignant, has a very malignant army in its female gender, and these malignant army are very present at the North America, California. And let's see, another thing about these beings is, like, for instance, you'll have a satanic Filipino married to a satanic white Lucifer. You'll have a satanic Chinese married to a satanic white Lucifer. And the white Lucifer a lot of them that come to me are females, that interact with me are females, are blonde females. Let's see, a lot of satanic Filipino, satanic Chinese, and satanic blacks that are married to the satanic white Lucifer. And these have been gang stalking me and my family members, both from the RNM to the Earth Theater. And the satanic Mexicans, like Mayans, satanic malignant Mayans married to the satanic white Lucifer. And vice versa is a lot of these satanic whites or satanic Filipinos or satanic Chinese or satanic Mayans. These are the malignant type that are married to the satanic voodoo blacks, to the satanic voodoo black male that is hideous in its demeanor behavior, and is very voodoo based, and carries with it a very cobra psychology. Anyways, I'm forgetting my thoughts on this. This is from the RNM and the Earth Theater. These beings are about their satanic marriages, are playing voodoo and witchcraft on those that are from the non-satanic, on the God faith marriages, I guess. But anyways, they target marriages for ritual behavior, narcissist behavior, and trauma behavior. Let's see. I don't know if I explained the spook tower, but the spook tower, guys, it's really spooky. You know, it's spirit cooking. It has destroyed my family, and it has destroyed myself. Myself has been destroyed by it. My family members, my nephews have been destroyed by my nephews have suffered so much from the spook tower and the dark agenda, the South American handlers of dark agenda. And and the whiter shade females of Lucifer, and they're vampiring on my nephew and his mother and his brother. And my mother, my elderly mother, is 67 years of age, and my sisters and my brothers. So these beings are a malignant Catholic army, of a malignant Catholic army, and they're from the deacons and the padres and the Lucifer. See, what else can I say? If it is, when you come across these beings, it does help to the other TIs. I do suggest that it is good to learn a few things about reptilians, archons, and there's another group, the Ingrits, the whiter shade witchcraft, or the Lucifer witches of Lucifer, and also it is said by many that marine spirits, they call it the marine spirits, I called it witches of the sea, or beings of the sea, or the terrestrials of the sea. The terrestrials of the sea have a distinct eye, have a distinct frequency. They come in whiter shade skin, in Filipino skin, Chinese. A lot of them are I don't know what else to say, but these are the types that I have encountered them. And they're very vampirial. Other types of entities are either from the solar frequency, the lunar frequency, and then there are other star constellations like planets known as the Syrian constellation, and so many others. Like I had one of a good witch that had come about in my early stages of targeting, and she was from Neptune. So I don't know, I can't seem to get them to come by to help me, because now I'm really in need of the help from the good witches. The good ones are from the light frequency. The light frequency beings are the do-gooder type of their beings, but they seem to be afraid of their demonic agenda frequency beings. The dark energy frequency beings, or the malignant frequencies, they're afraid of the malignant frequencies. They use light energy to heal the targets. But why don't they just place a complete gate on the malignant frequencies, on the frequencies of malignant terrestrials, or malignant gang stalkers, or malignant handlers from the RNM? It's something I don't know. The handlers of RNM are malignant, whether you call them humanoid or whether you call them terrestrials. These beings are very malignant, and these beings are criminal. The criminal system, they use the prisoners and as food supply. Pretty much the criminal system exists as a food supply for these beings. Like right now, everything that's going on in the humanity right now is that a lot of the human traumas and the human torture is being used as food supply for the malignancy of the padres, the deacons, and the Lucifer. The deacons are a reptilian terrestrial realm, and the padres are an archontic terrestrial realm. These are demonic terrestrials that haven't been exposed to the Americas, because much of America can only think about what Lucifer is about. And it is important to expose the indigenous realm, the beast realm, and its reptilianness, and its archonticness, and its neurodiversidiness, and its demeanor, and its psychology, and its cobraness, and its snakeness. in its the Lucifer is in its dogness and in its snakeness, whereas the Padres, like an Archontic dog, is different than a Lucifer dog, than a white Lucifer dog. I mean, I've had the Archontic dogs yawning through me, and I've had the hard white dogs doing stuff through me, and I've had the brown skin Archontic dogs doing stuff through me. They're like both from the South American Egypt and the Egyptian pyramids. The pyramids of Egypt and the pyramids of South America are like facets in a terrestrial entity. They're a frequency facet in a terrestrial Archontic entity. And the reptilians are from the South American pyramids, primarily from the South American pyramids and Africa and South Asia, Philippines. That's how I encountered the reptilians at my remote neural monitor. And then the blonde witches are saying that they're from the German territory, even though they speak so much English. And I have the Anglo type also. So the JILL seems to be German, and is an entity. It comes as a sea-based entity and it's very blonde hair, 6 feet tall, hands and feet, has feet, hands, eyes, very green eyes, very whiter shade, very Republican energy. Satanic white energy tends to be a Republican energy. And the Republican energy and the Democrat energy comes from the terrestrial entities, from the Lucifer realm and the Christ realm. And the Democrat energy is the golden energy. The Republican energy can come in as different forms of white energy and auburn energy. The auburn energy is like supposed to be a Christ energy, so it doesn't, I haven't come across it as the only type of satanic energy that comes with Lucifer is the satanic white energy. The satanic white energy is what distinguishes the Lucifer energy. And the auburn energy isn't just Christ energy, it's a cosmic energy. The auburn energy and the golden energy are cosmic energies. They're universal. They're not, so I don't want to confuse anyone. The satanic white energy is what distinguishes malignant witchcraft, malignant whiter shade witchcraft to me. Or malignant whiter shade witches. They're either exclusive or they're ingrates. They have a lot of they do a lot of stuff in the corporations and the American system. They have a lot of their humanoid forms. Their forms of humanoids. Let's see. For instance, when my family members, when we were in the golden energy, we were a free spirit energy, and we were a kind energy, and we were a content energy. Let's see, what else can I say? We also have the auburn energy in us also. It's like the auburn energy winged with the golden energy is what makes a safe energy and a kind energy. And a joyous, contentious, contentment energy. The dark energy, the malignant dark energy, is the most dangerous energy. It's the scariest energy. It's the annihilating energy is the malignant dark energy. Malignant DARK energy. Sometimes I have to spell things out because of the auditory effects they have on my perception. So in my perception, like a lot of the Masonic Chinese and the Masonic Japanese are witches from the sea, they're sea-based witches or sea-based spirits or sea-based terrestrials. They will appear on Earth. They are very much present on Earth. I've encountered them. when you come across any type of terrestrial on Earth, their frequency is far more pronounced than regular humanoids, and if you're a target, your perception is will surely know it. They make sure they talk to the perception of the target. Their pronounced frequencies will talk to the perception of the target, and they have the target at the perception and at the chakras, the energy centers of the target. Let's see. Like for instance, I have a Chinese witch and a Japanese witch. They both look the same. They're both doppels, but they are a witch system, and they are Masonic. The Masonic aspect goes as to the witch level and to the planetary level. So I didn't know where I began with this. Anyways, I was terribly the spooking and the smoke tower and the South American. One of the South American looks like a 30-year-old, and he horrendously spooks against my nephews and his mother. This 30-year-old South American can change into a Krishna. He is also an Indochin, and then a black Chinese and a South American, and tortures my nephew and his mother and his brother and his father. So right now I'm just gonna leave it at that, and then RNMs from my RNM. I'm the main target with an RNM, and I talk about the RNM because you have to expose the RNM, and I think the RNM should be questioned in the courthouses and in the government agencies and in the regulations of laws. I think the remote neural monitor and the voice to skull should be factored into the regulations of California and the 50 states of America, because it's where most of the spook tower does most. The spook tower and the South American dark agenda tower, known as the Army, and the Philippines, the South Asian Army, they do much of their crimes through the RNM, through the remote neural monitor and the voice to skull. And the auditory capability is Medusa. From the cardiac to the auditory is Medusa. There's a lot of fray effects and a lot of locked scripts with me, but pretty much I'm being really terrorized by the spook tower and the dark agenda army, and the vampirial behavior and the manipulation behavior of the blonde witch ES. Again, these just because we say if something is planetary or if it's a spirit based, it looks humanoid. You will encounter it on Earth as very humanoid beings. I have encountered these beings. It's just that when I encounter these beings on Earth, what they do is they have control over my chakra system, over my cardiac system, and my perception memory, which means that they will appear on Earth and they will block my memory. And then I will go home, and then within 2 weeks or a week, they will unblock it from my memory, and they will tell me, well, I appeared on this parking lot, and I am this being. I am this kind of witch, or this kind of terrestrial being, this kind of reptilian, or this kind of archon, or this kind of Nazi witch. For instance, I've had one black female witch, a malignant witch. The malignancy to me is what identifies as the black female. Like, this is a 5 feet black female about a year ago that came to my RNM and did a lot of degrading things, and I had never met her on Earth or anything. And then I was at a parking lot I was at a parking lot in my car, and she appeared in a car with another gal. And I knew, like, to my mind, she looked familiar, except I couldn't remember where I had seen her. And my mind also knew that she was malignant, that she was from the army and from the army. But anyways, it wasn't until weeks later that I realized that she was from the R&M, you know. So that's how the handlers will appear. And then I've had another, I have a doppel of a Chinese, Japanese, Korean witch, looks the same, but sometimes from China, Japan. It could be like a doppel 1, doppel 2, doppel 3, and doppel 4. All 4 of them look the same. But one of them is from Japan, the other is from China, the other is from Korea. And anyways, I guess these are 3 doppels, but there's 4 doppels that I have come across. And they appeared, and other times another doppel will appear straight from the sea base. The sea base has very different frequencies. The frequency density will be different, and they too were afraid. This one was afraid of what the dark agenda was doing, and I needed to tell her that it's the South American and the Indochin that are doing, that are playing her out, that are doing stuff to her. So and I have other issues with this Masonic Japanese. But anyways, and there's many doppels. This was like the whiter shade doppel of it, and there are also the South American doppels of the same Chinese Japanese doppel, and the South American version is evil, is cruel, is an abusive witch. I've encountered the South American version in the bus and in the R&M, and as a walk-in witch mood moves into the house, is what I don't want to. But it's an abusive witch. I mean, I have to report the abusive witch. The abusive witch was brown skin from South America, and looked exactly like the Japanese, except it had brown skin, whereas the Japanese and the Korean versions were whiter shades. So this is very strange stuff. But anyways, the Indochin and the Black Chinese is the source of my horrendous stalkers. My criminal stalkers are the Black Chinese, the Indo-Chinese, and the 50-year-old South American Rosicrucian. The malignant Rosicrucians are murderers, they want me to say that the malignant Rosicrucians want me to say that they are serial killers. And let's see, as they're talking in my mind, the malignant Rosicrucian is 50 years of age, is a reptilian, and is accompanied, also has a 30-year-old South American. The 30-year-old South American is also a murderer, and is a dark agenda, causes traumas, abuses children, and abuses their mothers, and abuses their parents, and just that's why it abuses families. See what else. Operates on my R&M terribly. Lives on my R&M. I don't know. I got this one from San Francisco. From San Francisco to Contra Costa County. Contra Costa County has a lot of these Rosicrucians. Malignant Rosicrucians are criminal Rosicrucians in their 50s, reptilian-based, and archontic-based in their 30s. And the cobras and snakes and dog frequency and behavior is part of their characteristic, and they are accompanied by the malignant female Filipinos in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s. These are malignant Filipinos, are voodoo based. They're voodoo based, and they are criminal. They are domestic abuse. They do a domestic abuse, and they are from the Dark Tower. I have encountered them at the DMV. I have encountered them at the trails. I have encountered them at San Francisco State University, and at from high school. From one of them, they took the demeanor idea from my high school, and then the original doppel is from my high school, and then from the original doppel of the high school came the San Francisco, UC Davis, and these are the doppels are look the same as the original doppel, except it's a different doppel. It's like having where did you find the original? There's the original. Well, the rest of it I can't. This is as I say anything else, it's the manipulation of a blonde witch is very afraid of exposing the malignant Philippine. The malignant Philippine female agamis in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s or 60s. These are the German-based blonde witches that are afraid. They don't want their Philippine females to be exposed. When the Philippine female, is Alex Jones did a small, a 15-minute story on one of those, on one of these types. There should be so much reports done on the female Filipinos that are malignant, that are criminal, that are abusive. They have voodoo behavior and witch behavior, and they can do witch and voodoo behavior from a distance, and they can mood into the families. They mood into the families. They R&M into the families. They use the neural technology. They are definitely from the army, and they say they are from the malignant Catholic Army. These beings are as much, the malignant Catholic Army is as much planetary as it is earth-based. It is very earth-based, and they say they are land, but the Philippine types say they are land-based. Let's see. What else can I say? This is it for right now. You guys have a good day.